Hey, welcome to another episode of Becoming a Techno Wizard. And sheesh, finally finished this dang on personal brand board. And man, it was a lot harder than than I thought it was gonna be. Um, I, I was feeling sort of good. I was feeling pretty good about it. I still kind of am, but at the same time, I'm just like, oh, maybe I'm not cut out for this, man. Maybe I don't have the skills that I need to have to do what I want to do. The vision is so not. I'm gonna be honest, not super clear, but the vision is like so cool, so valuable, so useful in my mind. But when I try to do it, it's just like, ugh. I mean, granted, this is a personal board. It's more like a mood board or a style guide or something like that. It's not an actual website, and so it has been difficult to kind of balance between what should be on the board and what should be like on the website. Um, so oof, whatever. But I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all what I got and go keep it short because I'm tired, quite tired. Here we go. So I started, just kind of putting down some things that I wanted. I may actually change because I'll show you later on, but I should use these pictures because I spent so much time finding these freaking pictures. These are actually stuff I built myself like a couple of years ago when I was doing blogs. I had this series where I was talking about building a 3D web. I was like, hey, this is some ideas you can have for, building a 3D website. Like these are new interactions you would have for a 3D website. So I do want to include that. So think I'm gonna do that. But anyways, I started putting it together. I was thinking about just keeping it as a board, like as a plain, simple like 2D sheet or whatever. You have pictures, you have words, body, all that stuff that you would see on a style guide or something like that. But now I was like, I'm making a 3D website, so might as well make my board 3D. So that's what I started doing. Try to make it look like a room kind of thing. Put these over boxes. I made my own box. This is based on a picture I saw, and it's just like four little rectangles with curved edges and some square as the border. But it looked pretty good, I was like, hmm. So I started using that more, putting the words around here so it was less crowded, messing around with like playing around with different buttons. These buttons, the interactions I imagine it comes from Leap Motion. They have a 3D user interface playground type of thing. It's really cool. Let me see if I can pull. I'm not gonna pull it up. I'm sorry, I'm tired. But I'll show you another time. But they have a really cool interaction where like they were imagining, what would a user interface look like in a 3D environment for virtual reality or for augmented reality. And so they were had all these different buttons and sliders and stuff like that, and it had this cool effect where you go close to it with your finger and the button kind of opens up as if it's sensing that you're coming close, so it's very reactive. um so they have a number of these. This is one of those ideas where they have like a small circle, then when your finger gets close, it expands out to a larger one. And the shape of itself of the button goes from concave to convex, or I think that's the right terms. But I wanted to emulate this, but I would do it, of course, with your mouse. So if your mouse comes close or starts, getting close to it, it will start growing, and when you hover over it, it will grow all the way. You click, that can signify that. Or if you're on the phone, if you're, touch screen, once you tap it, it opens up. There's a little animation, then it goes. And I was trying to do like a 3D button as well, but that was really difficult because this is super hard to get perception right in Figma because it's not really a 3D space. So I was playing around with different 3D things. Um, it was cool messing around with it. Oh yeah, these fonts. I was messing with a lot of fonts. Um, I think I deleted it. I should have kept it, but I was messing around with all these different what these look like in different fonts. I found quite a few really interesting ones. So this one is what's this? Enchanted Land. This is with Thorn Valley. I like the W in this one, so I kept that one. And then this is Wizda. I really like it. Wizda is super useful for in both caps and lowercase. Um, has really nice little details in there and stuff like that. Kerning, space, all that stuff. And then this is a more futuristic font, um, Elianto. So I really like this one as well. As it has a really good, super good all caps. The lower caps is all right as well. It's not bad. There's some other ones I was playing with, like Magic School. Looks like a Harry Potter type of font, but it's not really legible. Like what is this? Like I kept, but like the ends look like R's. I know this is R, but it's just I don't like that. It kind of killed the legibility. But the lowercase version looks pretty cool, straight out of Harry Potter. And there's even a Harry Potter. I'm Harry Potter. There's a Magic School 2. It's like Harry Potter and Azkaban type of thing. Yeah. See. So I think that's pretty cool. But that's not what I wanted to do. So I kind of stuck with the other one I had. And then there is this dragon one, fire. That one was all right, kind of boring though. And the lowercase was terrible. Like the I and the J is just gets confused. It's like smashed together. And then there is story. Yeah. So I wanted to, portray the fantasy as well as the sci-fi, the futuristic with this. I know it's kind of difficult to pair, but I think I paired it sort of well. So, I put the Wisda with the Avianto, and it looks pretty, or not Avianto, Elianto. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Elianto. Um, so this is kind of a thing, a statement I want to have in my on my website. And I like how these fonts pair together. They don't clash too much. They are different. I'm not sure how other people will see this. I know I have a unique sense of aesthetic. Like I don't really care for straight, typical aesthetics. I care more for um, uniqueness, and I wanted to but I didn't want to sacrifice legibility for it. So I made sure the fonts I chose was legible. There were a lot of other ones, like the other futuristic ones, um, that I kind of went without because they were doing too much. There is, I actually use this one later on, Stellar. It's pretty nice, but it's kind of boring. So I just use that for like a body. Um, and then I have, what was the other one? Can't remember. Half of these fonts are, or most of these fonts are already here, so it's not. I didn't add all these. Um, Shoot, I don't know, but yeah, I was playing around with a lot of fonts, just to see, what I felt like would fit, really well, and I think I landed on some good ones. There's one more I want to show, or a couple more, but one really good one. Was it Rosario? I don't think so. Bavaria, yeah, Bavaria. Yeah, so this one's a pretty interesting futuristic one, but again, it's a little bit too much. And it's not really good for this vibe I'm trying to give. So it's something, but it's definitely something I want to use later in some other project. But anyways, so yeah, started playing around with these different fonts. I use Eleonte for the display and headings, and then the body. So I think they work pretty well together. Hopefully, others will agree. I do have like 4 fonts, but these 2 I won't be using throughout. I just wanted to, have some difference and uniqueness in these words here. So this is another kind of idea I had. So I was trying to have this idea of making it like a glass type of thing, or have a box where there will be cards in it. You can move around inside the box and everything like that. Um, but it wasn't really looking too much right because unfortunately when you have like the glass on it, then it doesn't have the affordance of interaction. It's cool looking, but it doesn't have that practicality. You would have to take out the glass to make it more, to say, hey, maybe you can use this, but then it just actually doesn't look bad. Hmm. But still, I think it's a little bit much, and I'm like, I'm not sure what the use case would be for it, but it was an interesting thing nonetheless. And then boom, I started putting a lot more into it. All right, I started having a whole symphony of what this website would be. So again, it started it ended up being more like a website than a than the style guide board, but you know, whatever. I really like this tree here. I wanted to put something in the display box just because I think that was really cool, and I found this really cool image. It looks 3D-ish, so I had to put that there. Um, so I use these boxes as like a hologram type of effect coming out of it, and I kind of made like a portal over here, and you have your window going through like this. There's a whole background image. So if I hide this page, you can see it's a background image back here. So like when you first come in the page, it'll just be like a window into, Wakanda, or whatever. And then, you select that and it pops up. Boom. So that way the focus is on just that. Then this nice little ceiling as well. So I really like this. So I continued it. I was trying to mess with the colors. So I'm really bad with colors. So I tried to figure out, a bunch of different color schemes, but I was like, I'm just trying to do monotone, maybe it's one main accent color and then black and white. Um, and I think it looks really nice. Is a the glass version. I just just mess around with like these colors, um, annotations. Think that's a really cool use of 3D space as well. So the card, the picture would be small, like it will fit inside the card. Then when you select it, it will pop out. And then, if you hover over the picture, for instance, like these little annotations will pop out. So you can see more information about different things. And on this side, it will be supporting pictures or just descriptions about what's going on in this, in this part of the portfolio. So I think it was a really good use of 3D space, and it made sure that it's practical. It's not just 3D for the sake of being 3D. Um, yes, maybe you could do this on a 2D space, but I really want to explore how to use 3D space more in a 2D format. Because this is not a virtual reality thing. I'm not building it as a virtual reality website. I'm building it as a website you can access on your phone or on your monitor, I mean, on your laptop, computer, whatever. But it's just in a 3D space. And so cool thing about these is I think these should be like movable. So you should be able to like move around like a whole box or whatever. Um, and then another thing I added is that inside it has like a preview of what you're going to be looking at. So just to give people like it's not enough to see what it is, but it's just enough to tease. So hopefully that, and if especially when I animate it and stuff like that, make it move a little bit, draw your attention to it, then people would be more likely to click on it, to realize this is a clickable thing. Um, so yeah, just continuing that idea. But unfortunately, shared this. Oh yeah, there's like a different color scheme, kind of gold. I do like. I really like this one too. So I don't know, but unfortunately, I shared this, and I was like, man, it's a little bit too busy. I shared this with my girlfriend. It's like, oh, it's too much. Um, I knew it was too much. Um, but it's so freaking cool to me. Like I spent so long trying to figure out like these boxes and figuring out how to use 3D space and everything like that, and I landed on this, and it's just like I was messing around with like a lot of these, like putting different ways to use like the background, like using a portal or just keeping it as a view screen. I had like using these here. I had a version where I had like these on top of this, but yeah, I try to simplify it though because this is a lot going on. So I tried to simplify it. So I took out the display case, kind of took off the stacking so it's all on one level, and just simplified it so it's just all the same type of pictures that will be on the side. Maybe I should again take these out and put like realistic pictures in there, but or at least examples of the type of pictures I would want on my website. But um, I use these because this reflects the actual content I would have on my website. Like this is pretty much how the website will probably look. So again, it's more of a this is really ended up being more of a wireframe than a style board, but hey, whatever. So then, but I also some one thing I realized is that black is as much, even though it looks really cool, it tends to make make the space seem smaller than it is. That's I think that's why it seems a little bit crowded, even though I think it's a pretty good use of white space. So change the colors, So white makes it pretty cool. This is a pretty nice space too, but I personally just don't like white, like a whole bunch of white, because it feels empty to me. It feels unfinished. So I don't really like doing just white. So start playing around with it again. These different shades. These are shades I messed around with. I call it the spaceship gradient, because I messed around with it and way back on my portfolio when I was playing around with here is trying to emulate this freaking starship stuff, trying to make it look like a spaceship. um, and then I also have like these 3D gradients here to make the 2D shape is a 2D version, and then with just gradients, I make it look 3D. So I use those here, and it turns out pretty well. It makes a space seem more both spacious and not empty. So I guess it's just like imagine that it's like in a museum, like it has lighting and stuff like that. Um, so you have like a darker one, and I don't know. I really do like the darker tones, but I think the lighter tones makes it more spacious. And then I had this is the original uh, spaceship, like straight out the box, not the box, but like straight off the template that I created for the spaceship one, because it has a lot of opaque, clear spots for opacity. So right out, this it it just looks interesting. But I knew I couldn't keep it. It's a little bit too much, like having the background there, and like what's the background for? Like there's no use case for it. It's just a background image. Um, I mean, you could have one, but again, the background image is not even related to the website at all. But again, I mean, it's my personal brand, and it's Wakanda. I'm a Afrocentrist, Afrofuturist at heart. So, I mean, I could do something like this, but I'd rather do it more like a viewport. Um, like you have a picture, and then maybe you take out the picture when the thing pops up. But I don't know. But yeah, this is why I ended up submitting this one right here, along with version 6. This one, yeah, submitted both of those. So we'll see what my instructor says. I would like his feedback, but it's been really fun building this, even though it's kind of stressful, trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing here. But shoot, I enjoyed it, and I like how it turned out. So hopefully other people like it. Hopefully it's not just me. Um, but yeah, that's that. There's a lot more I can do here. There's a lot more I want to do here, but I'm super tired, and I had fun, even though it was stressful. So, but yeah, let me know what you think of these designs. Let me know what you think about just using 3D space in a new way on the web. I think it's so fun and such a so much untapped potential there. So I really want to, go back, harken back to like this blog I made before, and just try to flesh out these things, these designs here, and see what that does. But yeah, let me know what you think. See ya. Bye bye. Oh, oh, there we go.